Welcome back to Old Folks Racing PlayStation. You are seeing in your screen the Renault Megane V6, which is the car for round 9. And this is race 2. It's the 18th race of the season. And again, back in Snetterton, in the beautiful United Kingdom. Qualifying for the second race, Diogo Silva and Dale Taylor on the first row. Darren Head and Scott Davis on the second. Peter Adrian and excellent fifth with Gonçalo Mota in sixth. Diogo Almeida, Jumbo, Frankie and Todd Antonio complete the top 10, and what a start by Dale Taylor! It looks like he has jumped the start, but we understand that he hasn't, but he absolutely has nailed it as he takes the lead into turn 1, and we've got a couple of issues further down. Oh, and someone is, big crash there, someone is up in the air. It looks like Gonçalo Mota is in the middle of it. Diogo Almeida has lost time, and Todd Antonio has lost time, and in fact it's quite a scramble there. I wonder if we are going to get a replay of what happened, and I don't think we are going to get a replay, and someone is actually going very slowly there. That is Todd Antonio, that surely has had a big hit there. I think he's up to speed. Scott Davely is in fourth. Darren Head maintains third, but Dale Taylor, what a start, and he's right at the front of this pack. He of course had some difficulties in race 1, but now starting race 2 in the best possible way, which is by leading the entire pack. We are still on the first lap, and we won't get a replay of that incident, but it seems to me that a few drivers were affected, mainly Gonçalo Mota and Diogo Almeida, as they come now through the last kink. Not the last, is the penultimate really, because then you've got this really long section, and look at this, Diogo Silva is actually very close to Dale Taylor. Of course, the two drivers with the same livery, so they look like teammates, and they actually have the same number as well. So this is going to get quite confusing, because car number 37 is coming right on car number 37, and Diogo Silva wants to recover that lead. Of course, he's racing for the championship here, and he tries to go on the outside. Didn't quite work in turn 1, but now maybe he is going to try in the hairpin, and he's going on the inside, and no, gets out of it. And Dale Taylor slides a little bit. Oh, and they touch, and Dale Taylor is off the track, and Diogo Silva also loses time. Darren Head goes for the lead. Darren Head is the new leader, and drama happening here in Snetterton. Where is Dale Taylor? And we would like to see a replay of that as well, because it did look like there was a gap, but then the gap closed very quickly indeed. Diogo Silva maintained second, but what has happened there at the hairpin is what everyone is wondering. Darren Head has jumped into the lead. Diogo Silva struggling to remain ahead of Scott Davely, that is eyeing second place. Dale Taylor is still in fourth, so he has lost a few positions, but he hasn't lost a lot of time, so he could still be in play for this race. He had amazing pace in qualifying, and let's watch closely how this race is going to develop. We're following Jumbo. No, we're not following Jumbo, we're following Scott Davely. I apologize. And Diogo Silva making all sorts of mistakes, and look at this, Scott Davely is right on his tail. We are still on the second lap here, and we already had plenty of drama in Snetterton this afternoon. This is round 18, only 2 rounds to go, or 2 races to go. In fact, not rounds, it's only 1 round to go. As now, yes, we are following Jumbo. Jumbo is in 5th place. Peter Adrian maintained 6th place. That was a good qualifying from the rookie driver, with a very difficult car to control. So good progress as well by Peter in Old Folks Racing PlayStation. 7th is Gonçalo Mota. 8th is still Diogo Almeida. They haven't really recovered any ground whatsoever since they had the crash on the opening lap. And here is Darren Head, who is now in that yellow, very typical Renault livery, is leading this race, and Diogo Silva is 2 seconds behind Darren. At this stage, Diogo Silva would actually wrap up the championship if the race finished right now, with victory in the first race. And Kev Allen, look at this, Scott Davley continue. And Scott is actually now trying to get into second place more vigorously, I have to say. And the battle is actually allowing Dale Taylor to come back to this group, so we might have a three-way battle for second place very soon. Diogo Silva with the second place in this race would wrap up the championship. Of course, Kev Allen is not here this weekend, and even if Kev would win the two races remaining, with Diogo Silva not scoring any points, it would still be enough for Diogo to win the autumn title of 2021. But we're now focusing more on Scott Davley putting pressure on Diogo Silva as they complete another lap, and Scott is very, very close indeed, and is probably going to try to make a move here, either in turn one or at the hairpin, more likely. Darren Head is actually running away with this race, 2.6 seconds ahead of Diogo Silva. Scott Davley tries a little bit, but not too hard at the hairpin. And look at this, Dale Taylor is absolutely flying as he's catching Scott quite quickly. Jumbo is not that far behind either. And then we've got 3 or 4 seconds before Peter Adrian appears on the road. Look at this, Dale Taylor, of course, the leader of the first lap, and then got into that tangle at the hairpin with Diogo Silva. We still haven't got a replay of what exactly happened. And Dale, look at this, Dale is really flying. He's absolutely now on the tail of Scott Davley, and this is incredible. He's got enormous pace here today. Let's see what he can do and how much he can progress. It's not easy to overtake here with this combo. The hairpin is the most obvious opportunity, but it's not easy to complete the pass, as we have seen. Darren Head continues to lead 2.8 seconds over Diogo Silva. Now got some breathing space. Scott Davley is is not as close as before to Diogo. Is already. Oh, look at this, Dale Taylor rally crossing there with the Megane, and fortunately for him, did not lose that much time. But Scott Davley has lost time compared to Diogo Silva. Is now a second behind. And look at this, Dale Taylor is now ready to make a move and pounce as they finish what I believe is lap 4. Yes, lap 5 has now started for the leader, and Dale Taylor, look at this, faster through turn 1, and now is going to try to dive on the inside of Scott. Now not yet. Scott does a good job of, oh, look at that, he had a bit of a gap, but just like before, the gap just closed very, very quickly indeed. Fortunately for both drivers, no one actually lost any time. Look at this, Dale Taylor sliding beautifully that Renault Megane V6 in this Snetterton circuit. A circuit that had never been used before in OFR Racing PlayStation, not of course during 2021, also not been used during 2020. So this in fact has been one of the few circuits that we have never used in this league since right from the beginning of the league. It's absolutely new for everyone. Look at this corner over here. It's a very tricky corner. The car just slides away from the driver, and it slid away from Scott Davley, and here comes Dale Taylor now on the outside, which is going to be the inside for the next corner. So Dale now just has to take the corner, but can he do it? Can he complete the pass? It seems that he can. Dale Taylor is up into third place. Scott Davley drops to fourth. We are almost in the middle of this race. Race 2, Diogo Silva won the first race, and he will be the champion if the race finished right now. He can even lose a position or two, so I'm not sure how much of a fight he's ready to put on if Dale Taylor recovers ground and is going to put pressure on Diogo. Let's look at the gap at the line between second and third. It is exactly 2.5 seconds, with still a lot of racing to be done. And Del Terra, look at this, he's cleared a few car lengths over. Oh, and now overdrove there. The hairpin lost a little bit of time, but clearly he gained already a few car lengths over Scott Devley. Scott Devley starting to get worried about Jumbo in his rear view. Let's look at the difference there between 4th and 5th. It is 3 seconds, so it's still a comfortable margin for Scott Devley. Let's get an update on the rest of the field, and incredibly, we haven't really seen any change of position whatsoever, except Diogo Almeida has overtaken Gonçalo Mota and is up into 7th place. This is starting to look a little bit like a PC race. And this is Todd Antonio. He's not off the track. He's not off the track. It looked like it, but now he's off the track. He's off the track big time, actually. He basically went straight where the track, and this is not the replay, this is him pressing the reset button and going back to the race. Not easy to drive this car around here, especially that corner can be somewhat tricky. Now this is gas spin, that is Diogo Almeida running wide, but he is making progress because he's found Peter Adrian, and this is now the battle for 6th spot. Gonçalo Mota has actually dropped back quite a lot from Diogo Almeida. He's lost already 7 seconds, 6 seconds, I apologize. So it seems to me that the closest battle on the track right now is potentially this one at the moment. This is Diogo Almeida putting pressure on Peter Adrian, and I'm quite curious to see how this is going to end. Diogo Almeida, of course, a very experienced driver, part-time driver these days, but trying to secure a good result. And Peter Adrian has made a mistake at the exit of the hairpin, and here comes Diogo Almeida. So this battle might in fact be a bit shorter than we would expect, and Diogo Almeida is actually up to 6th, and that's a good job for Diogo there, actually gaining a few positions. Look at this, Del Taylor absolutely sliding that car and trying to close the gap to Diogo Silva. Darren Head, by the way, is 3.8 seconds ahead of everyone else. So it's looking good for Darren to win again this season in Old Folks Racing. And of course, as it is customary, Darren Head never wins a race when he's on pole position. And if he wins now this race, that will continue to be the case. In fact, all of his Old Folks Racing PlayStation victories came in races where he did not qualify on pole position. Darren Head, of course, a very quick driver and even stronger racer than qualifier. Look at these, both drivers there making mistakes, but Diogo Silva made a bigger mistake. And look at this is Del Taylor now coming in behind Diogo Silva, and we are going to see a battle. Remember, these two drivers already tangled in this race, and Del Taylor is absolutely flying, and I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a move on Diogo Silva very, very quickly indeed. It's a bit of a surprise effect, and they absolutely nose to tail. And clearly Del Taylor has more pace, because these cars used to be apart 2.5 seconds a few laps ago. Now they are not even 2.5 tenths of a second between these two cars as they go through the first of the many hairpin style corners here at Snetterton. Del Taylor makes a small mistake there at the exit, and Diogo Silva gets some breathing space, a few car lengths, because Del had to go not on the curb but really on the mud there at the exit of the corner. But still, we expect a very fierce battle indeed between these two drivers, with 8 laps in the books. We've got 11 in total, so there will be 3 laps to go at the end of the 8th lap. Now it seems to me that Darren Head is increasing his advantage, because he's now 6 seconds ahead of this pair of drivers as they battle they will tend to lose a little bit of time. And look at this, they're ahead with that number 1 in position number 1 and absolutely dominating the race since the second lap. This is end of lap 8, so 3 laps to go at the end of this one. Let's focus on the battle for second place, because it is heating up very nicely indeed. Half a second between Diogo Silva and Dale Taylor as they continue to battle in the last few laps of this race. Peter Adrian has actually not lost a lot of time to Diogo Almeida. He's in the loop still, so remember, mistakes with this car are very costly indeed. You lose at least 2 or 3 seconds, so definitely Peter Adrian is still in play. Gonçalo Mota is not. He's 8 seconds behind Peter. Frankie is in 9th place. Todd Antonio is in 10th. And most drivers are separated by a few seconds. Oh, look at this, Peter Adrian now making another mistake at the exit of the hairpin, and that was a little bit costly. And Gonçalo Mota now entering the hairpin, and better line there through the exit, but it's quite a lot of ground to cover if he wants to recover a little bit further from the 8th place that he's currently in. Let's look at the battle for second place. It's basically now a second between the two drivers, so Diogo Silva finding some breathing space there from Dale Taylor. And look at that, they've done, well, no, they've not done exactly the same time, but look at this, 1:54.74 for Diogo Silva, 1:54.83. That's literally 9 thousandths of a second between the two drivers in the last lap. So very, very similar pace between second and third. And Jumbo has parked it. Jumbo has parked it. He has picked up his McDonald's order and he's off again to complete his race in the Megane V6. Of course, there is a resident McDonald's restaurant in this circuit for drivers when they're hungry to just stop for a burger. Not the ideal line there through the last corner either. And where is Diogo Almeida? Diogo Almeida has been absolutely superb recovering ground in this race. Scott Davely has lost touch with the podium contenders, but he is in a solid 4th place. But look at that, I saw that in the background. You could see it's not the same car copied and pasted twice. It's actually 2 cars. Yes, there you go. This is Diogo Silva and Dale Taylor battling for second place. We are on lap 10. That's the penultimate lap, and look at this, Darren Head comfortably ahead with 6.2 seconds, but Dale Taylor has not given up on Diogo Silva. Wow, look at that, absolutely rally crossing like a boss there, Dale Taylor. And if this was a combination of rallycross and track, he would score him additional points, but in this case it just made him lose time. Oh, look at this, Diogo Silva has also rallycrossed his way out of the track, and now this is the opportunity because Dale Taylor is coming with more speed and they're going to go side by side into the next corner, which is to the left. I think Dale Taylor has done it. Yes, Dale Taylor has completed the pass, and he is the new second place man in this race. Diogo Silva tries to come back at him, but to no avail, and they are about to enter the last lap. And look at that, Dale Taylor rallycrossed his way in the previous corner, but Diogo Silva actually lost time by making a very short but costly off-road excursion. We are already on the last lap, and Darren Head is ahead still of everyone, and he's heading to another victory in Old Fox Racing PlayStation in 2021. Look at this now, this is Diogo Almeida coming behind Jumbo, and Diogo has been steadily climbing, and maybe, just maybe, he can get the top 5 position here in that Kubler sponsored, whatever that is, Megane. They are on the last lap, and Diogo Almeida does not have many opportunities to try to overtake Jumbo. The first one is here and he knows it, but he's not very close at all. A few more opportunities are possible. Nice exit from the hairpin, and Jumbo taking a more conservative line. And look at this, they are now absolutely nose to tail, and this is possible although not a very good overtaking point. Here comes Diogo Almeida now. He can do it, and or can he? Yes, he's going for it. Yes, he's going for it, and and they touch, and Jumbo comes ahead. I think that Jumbo had the right to take that line, but he hit Diogo Almeida, and Diogo ended up running off the road. But look at this is not over. And now he's coming to try to overtake him, as Darren Head has been ahead of everyone since lap 2, and he's going to win race number 18 of the championship, and is going to get maximum points here in race 2. Just a few more corners to go, and Darren Head is going to see the checker flag. The man is already with the checker flag in the air, and Darren Head wins. Nice performance from Darren. Second place is Dale Taylor, and third is Diogo Silva, and 2021 autumn champion is going to be Diogo Silva. Scott Davely in fourth place. Nice result as well for Scott. Fifth place is going to be Diogo Almeida. Diogo Almeida managed to find a way around Jumbo, and Jumbo has lost a lot of time. Something has happened to Jumbo on the last lap. We should see a replay of what happened, because Jumbo is not in 5th place, he's not in 6th place. Peter Adrian finishes the race in 6th, and 7th is going to be Gonçalo Mota. And where is Jumbo? Here's Jumbo now putting pressure on Gonçalo Mota, but something happened to him on the last lap, and I'm not certain that we'll find out what it was. If it was an incident with Diogo Almeida, or if he just went off the road on his own. In any case, he lost a lot of time. Frankie comes home to take 9th spot, and Todd Antonio is going to be 10th, as the two American drivers complete this race as well. What a race it has been. What a battle for different positions we had, for the lead, for the podium, for the top 5, and battles through the field, as we often see in Old Folks Racing PlayStation, as we continue to follow Todd Antonio now coming through the line and completing the race as well. Let's see if we get confirmation of the final standings. There is a checkered flag. There are the results. Darren Head, Dale Taylor, and Diogo Silva share the podium. Do we have the point standings? And yes, we have. Well, we don't have the leader of the standings, but there is a gap that ensures that Diogo Silva is a champion. See you next week.